Hi everyone, welcome to Dance Geek. I'm Claire, your host of Dance Geek, and I'm never going to say that again. I don't know why. I've never in my life said your host of Dance Geek. Anyway. Hi everyone, welcome to Dance Geek. I'm Claire. I'm a massive geek about a lot of things, but especially about dance. On this channel, you will learn heaps of quirky, weird, interesting, and hopefully really useful tips about dance and the live performance world. On today's Tip Tuesday, I am going to be teaching you a couple of easy little tips about ribbons, ballet ribbons. Now I'll be working with a pointe shoe because I don't actually, truth time, I don't like wearing ribbons. I hate them. I always have hated them. I prefer just elastics, a crossed elastic on my ballet shoes, my flats, and on my pointe shoes, but ribbons. This is not going to be a tutorial on how to tie your ribbons. There are a lot of those out there. Also, your ballet teacher can help you with that. But I have actually linked a couple down in the description below of some really nice, straightforward, informative, but just easy to follow how to tie ballet ribbons tutorials. So go and follow those if you want to know how to tie your ribbons. All I'm sharing with you is a couple of tips on how to just make your ribbons work better and how to make it a bit easier. All right, so first tip. Now, this is something that I don't do a lot because, as you can see, the ribbons are fraying. Now, to stop fraying of a ribbon, cut it on an angle. And it helps, but it doesn't, if you can see there. Wow, this is, yeah, well done. Sorry, working with new equipment, and it's doing well. Yeah, if you can see there, it's on an angle, but it's still frayed. This one that's not on an angle is frayed and coming off. So fraying ribbons is bad because when you the very first time you tie your ribbons, you're going to want to cut them. Where are my scissors? Scissors was on my equipment list for this video. Did I put them? No, gosh. So when you put your ribbons on for the first time, you're gonna wanna cut them so that you don't have a huge amount of ribbon hanging at the end. So you've tied your knot. You want about 2 to 3 centimeters or maybe like an inch. And that should give you enough ribbon to work with next time you have to tie them and every time after that. But not so much that it's gonna take ages to tuck it in and it'll be bulky and all of that. So you just cut it straight. Don't worry about cutting it on an angle. And then you're going to get flame. Now you can just use a normal lighter. I'm actually really quite terrified of fire. Yes, I know it's weird. My partner is a firefighter and I'm terrified of fire. But I hate those little lighters. On the rare occasion that I've had to use one, like to light a candle or something, never been a smoker. I've burnt my fingernail. I've burnt my no, I don't like them. So I use this, but you don't have to be weird like me and use one of these. So just get the ribbon and your flame, and what I do is I put the flame up first and then you just run the ribbon, boom, boom, twice. And what it does, because the synthetic fibers in the ribbon will melt on the end and they form like a ridge and it seals it in. And then you will never have an issue with fraying. So yeah, burn your ribbons. Oh, it's fun. No, it's not. It's not fun. It's weird. I wouldn't recommend doing the burning of the ribbon part whilst it's on your foot. Possibly for safety, take it off your foot, but you do you. This should go without saying. When you learn to tie ribbons for the first time, you should be taught, and I think in a lot of cases people are taught to start with the inside ribbon. But I think people just forget along the way, because I've seen a lot of students, a lot of people at comps, I see a lot of people not using the inside ribbon, starting with the outside one. So I thought I'd reinforce that and say, start with the inside ribbon, please, not the outside. Now the reason that is because your inside ribbon is the one that's closest to your instep. And that's generally the part that's going to move the most in your foot once you're starting to work your foot, generally. So you want that to be snug up in your foot. You want the shoe to be snug to your instep. So if you use the inside ribbon first and pull that up before you wrap and then wrap it around, it's going to give you more support of the shoe. So the ribbon's going to be more than just a pretty ribbon, pretty adornment around the ankle, which, look, historically, yes, they are more like, oh, they're pretty, but they are functional as well. They're helping to hold the shoe in place on your foot and in your instep. So always start with your inside ribbon. Tip number 2 is where you tie the knot, okay? Don't tie a bow, that's not a tip, that's just a don't do. Don't tie a bow, tie a knot. You tie the knot on the inside, so again, the inside being where your instep is, and it's a knot that should sit, it should be a small knot, and it'll sit between where the Achilles tendon is and the ankle. There is a little dip in your foot there, and that's where your ribbon will sit. So if you can get it to sit there, it's going to give a nicer line through the ankle, because we don't want those ankles looking bulky, but it's also not going to be pushing anywhere icky. Tip number 3, you can do this without a tail comb, but I highly recommend having a tail comb in your bag. They're great for so many things, like combing your hair. But use the end of your tail comb to push not just the ends. A lot of people push the ends in. You've got to push the whole knot. If your ribbons keep falling out, it's probably because you're not actually putting the whole knot underneath that top circle of ribbon, okay? So use your tail comb and push the whole knot under, and then the little bits of end flyaways, tuck them in as well using your tail comb. So hopefully these have been really helpful tips for you. If you have any tips that you'd like to share regarding ballet ribbons, particularly if anyone is using the elastic ribbons that I've seen on a few people at comps. Yeah, share your tips down below regarding ballet ribbons, how to use them, what things you do, what not to do. As always, please be respectful in the comments. I will just completely delete anything that's not respectful. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this. Share it with your friends if you have found it useful. It really, really helps me, my work and my channel from a business perspective. It really helps if I have my videos shared. And a really big one that helps me is if you subscribe to my channel. The more subscribers I have, the more content I can put out, the more I can share with you. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next video.